The internet is one of the most potent tools known to humankind. It completely revolutionized almost all aspects of society. However, with great power comes great responsibility. And as powerful as the internet is, there are those who misuse and abuse this power. In this video, we discuss the dark side of the internet, what goes on beneath the surface. Stick around to find out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as we move forward. The history of the internet is well known, as it began as a US military experiment in the 1960s for various departments to share information. Back in those early days, its capabilities were extremely limited, and only tiny amounts of data could be sent back and forth at very slow speeds. Then, on January 1st, 1983, which is a date considered as the official birthday of the internet, a new communication protocol known as Transfer Control Protocol Internetwork Protocol, TCP/IP, was introduced. This allowed various computers to form a communication network and exchange data and information in relevant capacities. Widespread internet use began with the invention of the World Wide Web, WWW, by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. This expanded the capabilities of the network, allowing for the creation of an information sphere within which certain assets such as media files and articles could be located and shared. From then on, we can say that the internet no longer belonged to the US military and had become a public project. It was from that moment in the late 1980s that the internet as we know it today came to be. Several companies started to make services catered towards cyberspace, including web browsers, email clients, online stores, and so on. The internet became less of a gimmick and more of a hub for serious business. There was so much opportunity as more and more of the public turned to it for their entertainment and communication needs. People were becoming .com millionaires, creating websites and selling them to corporate giants like Yahoo. But then, with the rise of the internet came the rise of the dark side. As much as the surface of the World Wide Web was dominated by largely legitimate businesses, there was so much more going on underneath. You see, by its nature, it's easy for an individual to remain anonymous on the internet, and with this anonymity comes the freedom to partake in all sorts of activities. Matters are further complicated by the fact that the internet is a relatively new technology that has yet to fall under the yoke of meaningful legislation. All these conditions serve to create the perfect environment for a crime-ridden cybersphere to emerge, a cybersphere commonly referred to as the deep web. Simply defined, the deep web refers to a portion of the World Wide Web that contains content that is not indexed by search engines. As such, unless you know specifically what you're looking for, it will be difficult to find it on the deep web. The deep web has a horrible reputation because it has become the base for so much criminal activity. But it isn't all bad, as most people resort to it because of the privacy it affords. To access the deep web, you need a special browser such as Tor browser. However, even with this tool, it would be best for amateurs to stay away. There's no telling what kind of computer virus you could acquire just by surfing the deep web. And even if you're protected from computer viruses, there are so many fraudulent and criminal schemes that seek to lure you and exploit you. The deep web has baffled cybersecurity experts for years now. Even though they have made some strides, criminals are still largely protected by anonymity. Almost everything which is used to conduct business transactions is untraceable. Denizens of the deep web even use cryptocurrencies to complete their transactions, which are digital assets notorious for their decentralized properties. The dark web has both advantages and disadvantages. However, many would argue that the disadvantages far outweigh the advantages. Nobody likes to be watched on the internet, but that is no excuse for contributing to a community that features such horrible things as child porn, murder for hire, torture videos, and so on. In any case, the deep web looks like it's here to stay, and even though legislators are coming up with new laws to limit what can be done on the internet, deep web users will always come up with better ways to stay anonymous. When you consider things at scale, The deep web is far larger than the portion of the internet which is freely accessible. It makes you wonder just how much goes on down there which isn't known. Coming to the end of this video, we hope you've learned that there's way more to the internet than meets the eye. The dark web is a very dangerous place, and it's definitely not for the lighthearted. Have you ever surfed the dark web before? If so, what was the experience like? Let us know below. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share if you liked the video. Our content is always interesting and engaging, and you sure wouldn't want to miss out. Until next time, have a great day.